So let's first of all start off with how to find an equivalent fraction. Equivalent fractions are fractions that are equal. And to find an equivalent fraction, multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So in this case, 2/3, if we multiply the top and bottom by 4, gives us an equivalent fraction of 8/12. Now, you won't ever be asked in your exam to write just one equivalent fraction to something. You may be asked to fill in a missing number, but the purpose of this is to just make sure you are happy with what equivalent fractions are equal to what. So let's first of all look at one example. 1/5 equals something over 15. And they would like us to fill in the blank in this case. So equivalence, remember, means we've multiplied the numerator and denominator by the same thing. Our clue is this one. 5 multiplied by 3 has given us that 15. So therefore my numerator will be the result of 1 times 3, which is 3. Next one, let's say I have 10 over 75 this time. And they're saying it is equal to 2 over something. Now in this case, we're not multiplying, but we know that equivalence will work both ways. We would multiply to get equivalence here. We could also divide to get equivalence back the other way. But if we think about what we've multiplied it by, 2 times 5 would have given us that 10. So I need to think to myself, what number, when I times it by 5, would give me 75? And in this case, it would be 15. Remember, this is just a quick revision over the basics of equivalence and simplifying, but this should be knowledge that's well known to you by now. So, last one for equivalence. 6 over 9 equals 36 over something. So once again, we'll look at what the missing number is. 6 here multiplied by 6 would give me that 36. So if I do the same here, 9 times 6 gives me 54. So 36 over 54 is equivalent to 6 over 9. Let's have a look now at how we simplify a fraction. To simplify a fraction, we just divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. We repeat this until there are no more common factors to divide by. An example of this would be simplifying 18 over 30. We could divide the numerator and denominator by 2 to give us 9 over 15, and then divide by 3 to give us 3 over 5. We could, however, have divided by 6 straight away, and it would have got us to the answer in one step. So let's just quickly look at a couple of examples of how to simplify a fraction to make sure you're all happy with that process. So first of all, let's give you these 3 fractions. Now what I want you to do is to press pause, have a go at simplifying these 3 fractions, and then come back to see if you've got the correct answer. Okay, so I left you with these 3 fractions to simplify. Let's see how you got on. So we need to find a common factor to the top and bottom to divide by, and preferably the highest common factor. So in 24 and 30, the highest common factor would be 6, so I can divide the top and the bottom by 6 to give me an answer of 4/5. In the next example, 49 over 56, so let's think of numbers that go into 49 and 56, the highest common factor. In this case would be 7. And dividing the numerator and denominator by 7 would give me a simplified answer of 7/8. And then our final one here, 250 over 2,000. Now you're not necessarily expected to find the highest common factor straight away in this one, but there are certain quick ways you can use to simplify as fast as possible. The first would be to cancel one of those zeros off the numerator and denominator, which would simplify to 25 over 200. Then we can see how many 5s, for example, we have in 25 and 200. So if I divide the numerator and denominator by 5, it would give me 5 over 40. Remembering we've divided both numerator and denominator by 5. And then finally, 5 will go in again to leave me with 1 over 8, which is in its simplest form. Now, you may have noticed at the very beginning that 250 is a common factor to the numerator and denominator. So if I divided them both by 250, I would have got to 1/8 straight away. But remember, it doesn't matter how many steps it takes you to get there, as long as you get the right answer in the end.